each other. And the first perspective that I want to look at is our own perspective. Our own perspective is important because we live our life through the influence of our own perspective. And it helps us determine who we really are and what we really think. And when I look at my own perspective, it really comes down to heart issues. Because it says in Proverbs 4:23, it says to keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. That word keep, it means to guard. And diligent means that I'm constantly striving for this. So I am to guard my heart. I'm to strive to keep on guarding my heart because it is out of my heart that flows everything that settles every issue in my life. Proverbs 16:22 says, understanding is a wellspring of life. So if I'm going to evaluate my own perspective, one, I have to be protective and guard my heart. And I have to understand where my heart is coming from. I have to examine my own motives and my own desires. And this takes self-reflection. And it takes time. It also takes being honest with myself. I don't like to be honest with myself sometimes. Who's with me? We don't, do we? I'll give you a simple example. When I started to put on a lot of weight, and I still have that weight on today, I just don't let it bother me. But when I started to put on a lot of weight, I'd look in the mirror, I'd do my hair, I'd do my makeup, and I thought, oh, I don't look so bad. I look pretty good. And then I saw a picture of myself, and I thought, oh my gosh, I look like that. And what had happened is day after day of looking in that mirror, it's like I lied to myself just a little bit that I wasn't so bad. And we have a habit of doing that. We have a habit of lying to ourselves and not being all the way honest with ourselves. If we're going to determine the value of our own perspective, we have to start being honest with ourselves and not play that game of lying. The other thing it takes me understanding that my background, my beliefs, and my convictions influence my perspective. I really understood the power of this in my relationship with my husband. When we first got married, he used to tell me, we'd have this conversation, and he would say, what do I got to do to make you trust me? And I'm like, I do trust you. He says, no, you really don't trust me. And I'm like, I do trust you. After 18 years of marriage, I realize now that I trust him a lot more now than I did back then. And what I realize now is that coming from a broken home, coming from a broken marriage, hindered my ability to trust him at that time. I didn't understand that. And when I told him that I trusted him, I did trust him, but it was the most that I could trust anybody at that time in my life. If we're going to evaluate our own perspective, it takes time. It takes dealing with heart issues. Where am I coming from? What is my motive? What is it that really drives me? It takes being honest with myself, and it takes understanding the things in my life that influence my perspective. And when I start to do that, then I start to grow personally as a person.